Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice, just me having some fun going over my plans for the week ahead. It's going to be a short week going from Monday, June 29th until July 20 until July 2nd. And we've got off Friday, July 3rd in preparation for the 4th of July, America's 250th birthday. So pretty exciting. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go over my thoughts. I did post this, it looks like on June 23rd, which was that Prime Day stock sale ends Friday. So Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day just ended yesterday. And I was talking about there could be a sale in the stock market as well as the crypto market. And so ends this Friday. And so I was posting that when Bitcoin was around 59,000. Now it's around 60, almost 61,000. And it looks like this S&P 500 or the SPY was at 734. Yeah, it's a little bit lower than that, but I think we could be seeing a bounce into next week. And also, before I get into the charts, before I get into the video, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe. I am going to be trying to do streams like this every single week. And if you see up in the banner ahead, I might be let's see, starting a membership, $5 a month, where I would do this kind of long format stream once a week on Saturdays. And then every evening, so that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after market closes, I would stream for about half an hour, just kind of going over, updates on what I went over on the weekend and going over unusual whales data, seeing what changed, what stayed the same, stuff like that, and also taking some requests. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the chat. I do need to fix a couple issues with my chat. Just YouTube's been a little bit wonky ever since I kind of stopped streaming so much. But thinking about the SPY here, just kind of wanted to come over to the chart. Let's see. Looking at this, before we zoom out like that, did get this nice little doji. It looks like, did get bought up the dip on Friday. So that looks good. And if we do look over at the SPX, it didn't go down as much, and it doesn't really look like a doji. It looks more like a spinning top there. But coming back to the SPY, since I did have some drawings on this that I had kind of forgotten about, but I was really just pointing out that, we are seeing some things over here suggesting that there's a breakout. So it looks really good, but also that we could be back testing that. And so this was about, let's see, I guess 2 months ago, April 23rd or so, when it was consolidating here, I drew this line out and was also noting that, let's see, over here, we had seen, let's see, I guess that just highlighting this as being the same as over here or similar, there was a little bit of a pullback following it. And with that, there was lower volume RSI was breaking out. We saw that, about 2 months ago. And now RSI's cooled off. Volume's still lower, but it does seem like it has picked up some. And if I do extend this line forward, I have not messed with it. I didn't even really remember that I had this drawn up here. But if I extend that, just very casually, it looks like we kind of kissed it. We got pretty close to. I'm actually going to move that back. I wish I could just extend it to the left or to the right. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we got pretty close to that. Pretty big panic in the markets. I think a lot of it got bought up though. So I don't like ice cold as in bottom forever. No, I don't think so. But I think that we are going to be getting a bounce. I think that we do tend to go up on short holiday weeks. And so I think that we're going to see that kind of across the market. I could be wrong though. And also, let's see, what else am I thinking about this? I forgot what I was gonna say. So I'm just gonna go over to the Qs here real quick. Kind of looks like a double top pulling back some, but if we look over at the IWM, the Russell 2000, this is gonna be the smaller caps. We can see that this is near all-time highs. And if we actually look at this on the weekly, we can see that we got the highest weekly close in the history of the IWM, as long as I have all of the data here, which I believe I should. This goes back to 2001. And yeah, although there is some bearish divergence, looks like higher highs, lower high here in the RSI, but that RSI breaks out. That negates any signal of bearish divergence. And so, yeah, I mean, smaller caps, I think a lot of our favorite stocks are probably going to be doing fairly well. And I think that the bottom, at least short-term bottom, is in. And I had posted some stuff. I'm going to go over a lot of posts here in this stream, but I had done some posts yesterday on, I think that we gap up. We get some news on Sunday. We gap up into Monday, have a nice little run into the holiday week. Yeah, so I think that things are looking pretty good, but I am just going to, let's see, because I can't see if there is chat or anything. I don't even know if I'm actually streaming, so let me just come over here to the studio, and I should be live with this, and so I just need to open this up so I can pull up the chat, and I'm actually going to pop this out. And so I've got the chat over on my side, and I might actually, I don't know how this is gonna screw things up for the stream. Okay, so that looks good still. Okay, so and I actually, one second, I just need to fumble with this stuff a little bit. Okay. Sorry, just gonna get my monitors together. Oh, crap. One second. Okay, I think that's... Man, sorry, I'm fumbling. Okay, there we go. I got that up. Okay, so yeah, I got the chat over here, so I should be able to engage with you guys there. And since I do have the banner up there about the possibility of doing a membership, I'm just going to put a poll in the chat, and it should populate above me as long as I've got this sorted out right. Are you interested in $5 a month membership for 5 streams per week plus requests? Okay, and so hopefully that populates above me. Yep, okay, so I just started that. You should be able to see that. And now we can get into, all the stuff that I wanted to go over. And so I did mention Prime Day stock sale ends Friday. Also, Bitcoin sale ends Friday, which was yesterday. And then also I did want to point out this tweet from Matthew Hyland. He posts a lot of great content. I think that this is really interesting. Cantonese Cat has also talked about a lot of this stuff, so it's not like some secret thing, but it's just really a bunch of indicators suggesting that, we could be at a bottom. And so he's saying that, crypto has been in conditions over the last 4 years. Normally, you think of Bitcoin crypto in 4-year cycles, where it has had great success historically, where it has never had great success historically. Sorry about that. So drawing long-term conclusions based on the last 4 makes zero sense when the optimal conditions were not present the whole time. And so he's saying, here in this tweet from June 18th, and I should mention that he posted this on June 20th. He was just reposting it, I guess. And so macro risk environment conditions from 2022 to 2026 were the same conditions seen from 2018 to 2020. Pretty much explains why Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto are in a position that they are currently in. It also explains why the next few years will be optimal and then he continues on, and I am actually just want to make sure my audio is good. So, um, and so basically what he's pointing out is, we had Bitcoin kind of like his big bull flag, bottom here, breakout. And, we think about it in 4-year cycles. And so I was kind of thinking that we'd be getting this big top here. Explosive, euphoric, all that. We didn't get it. But really, that's just like the extension of the business cycle as far as I understand it. And so what we can see is that this has really just been, the same kind of bear market sideways consolidation that we've seen over here. It just took an extra year, I believe, approximately. And now it could be bottoming. Same with Ethereum and Blue here. Been very sideways. Everybody hates Ethereum. I think that, the next few months, maybe the rest of the year, could be bottoming, and then we start to go much higher later in the year or next year, the year after that, 2028. And so altcoin dominance also, bottomed over here, and then we're seeing it bottoming now. I mean, we did not see an explosive run with Doge, a number of coins, and so Ethereum being one of those. It could be now, although Ethereum has performed much better than a lot of altcoins. And then the copper and gold ratio. This is something Cantonese Cat talks about a lot, where we had the bottom here again. So this cycle was just a little bit longer than it was in the past. Bottoming signals, and then also the Russell, which is the smaller caps over the S&P 500, bottoming again. So thinking that's looking really good. And I am also, let's see, just going to post a link to the stream. And so let's see. Streaming now for the next couple hours if you want to join. Okay, so I've got that. We're just going over Matthew's post here. And so now let's go on to the first ticker that I will be discussing, which is AMC. And I'm really just going to be going through them alphabetically. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I am going to be going through this list of stonks here. And most of them I hold, not all of them I do, and I'm just going to kind of discuss them, go over the options data. And I'm really just doing this for myself. This is something I do every weekend just to kind of prepare for the week ahead and to kind of plan things out, what looks good, what doesn't look good, all of that. And so, yeah, the first one on here is going to be AMC, but I did want to come back to some of my tweets. And so this is one that I posted on June 24th, where I just, was bragging that, I nailed the AMC top, because in this earlier post from June 14th, I ended it with my bet that AMC tops around 259 to 316. I'll go over why I had those levels. And those are just Fibonacci extensions from this move here, 259, 316. We hit a high on Monday of 296. Might have had some pre-market prices higher than that. I'm not sure. But it did pull back, and that's, it is what it is. Well, I did call that very well. I unfortunately didn't really act on it last week during the stream. I had talked about where I rolled a covered call that I had. I would have taken a net profit considering premium at a price of $2.20, because looking at the chart from the last run up over here, we did hit a high on June 1st of 222. So if I would have sold at 220, that would have been a nice short-term, top before pulling back and then the move higher. So I didn't do that. And so that was kind of my thesis with selling a covered call, which was for the $1.50 strike. I had collected $70 in premium on that. So that totals about $2.20 average for the 100 shares, or $220. But I decided to roll that to, I believe, a $3.50 strike that expires in July, maybe August. I'm not sure. I think July. And I kind of regret doing that. But at the same time, we saw this pretty big pullback. Maybe I want to just be able to, excuse me, move some of the layers around here. Oh, and excuse me, one thing, this Fibonacci retracement that I had it drawn up to the high from, let's see, Thursday, June 18th, so just before Juneteenth when markets were closed, and that high was at 290. It looks like the AMC opened at exactly 290, exactly that level, but wicked up a little bit higher, high of 296. So I am going to adjust this retracement. Let's just see over here to 296. I believe that's what I said. Yep. And then it pulled back, and it pulled back all the way down, 100% retracement to the low here, which was from June 5th. That was a low of $1.72. And we hit exactly that level on, I guess that would have been Thursday. On the 25th, we hit a low of 172. So it's effectively like a double bottom here. Although this is not a higher low, this is, the exact same level. So a little bit risky there, a little bit of a concern, but we did, bounce effectively from the 786 at like 193. AMC did issue some shares to make some money, and that was at $2.10, I believe. And so we did dip below that, kind of scary, but we did close the week above 2 at 216. So I think that looks really good. And really, what I would like to see with this, of course, my doodle here did not play out because that's the risk with AMC is dilution, selling shares, all that stuff. So this move didn't play out, which I guess I'll zoom out. This is like the case for why it could go to 4. I still think it's possible, but we were just set back a little bit. And so what I would like to see, let's see if I can bring up the correct tool. Just I would like to see kind of, there be an island formed down here. It doesn't necessarily have to extend that far into the end of July. But if we consolidate down here, maybe we get a gap up and then continue higher. I think that would look good. I mean, really, we just want to gap back up here, get back going up to the upside. And maybe we're doing that. Maybe we're starting to see it. And so we'll go over some contracts with that. And also, I did want to point out something else that I had mentioned, and this is really like the ice cold theme. From this earlier tweet, I had said that, of course, AMC tops around 259 to 316 in June, and then before cooling off, but that we won't see the upside momentum go ice cold until we see more green check marks on the table. And so far, at that time, for Max Pain, it was around $1.50, a bunch of red check marks. The only one that was green was in January. But then if we scroll up to, or scroll back to my tweet here, we now have Max Pain's with more green, $2. So that's not looking so great. They are the monthly contracts, but we do have, let's see, $2 strike here, and we closed above $2 at 216. So I think it looks really good. It'd be nice if it had like, gone above 250 because that's closing a strike above Max Pain. But it is what it is, and I think that things are still good. I mean, my understanding of the business is that probably just needed cash to be promoting summer movies. Toy Story 5 seems like it's going to be a big success. I'm really not interested in Supergirl or The Odyssey. Unfortunately, I really like Christopher Nolan a lot, but I just don't like a lot of the stuff, the decisions, I guess, that were made with that. So I'm probably not going to be seeing it. But, summer box office needs to have some money behind it. So I think AMC has needed to have some cash for that. I do see some chat going on with Coinage Stocks. Hey, how's it going? Good rising, my friend. Yes. I think I could cover MSTR and Doge? I'll definitely cover MSTR. That's one that I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to go through them alphabetically. Doge, I can go over probably when I get to the more crypto related stuff, stocks, then I'll go over Doge for sure. For me, and also Cantonese Cat, he does have a YouTube channel. If you're not on X, I think he's a great account to follow. He does like 30-minute videos every Sunday where he talks about the bigger picture. And Doge is one of the tickers that he does frequently go over. So like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and maybe some others. But yeah, I mean, it's really just the thesis that we're bottoming now, the same kind of thesis that Matthew has. So I think that, you know, the bottoms, the lows can always last way longer than we expect. So like what I like to do is just very casual dollar cost averaging with Doge. I think I'm doing $5 a day. I might adjust that to the lower it a little bit, just because, yeah, just to be able to do this for the longer term. $5 a day isn't much, but doing that with a number of coins can make it a little difficult. And so to sustain it, and I do have like I think rent due at the beginning of the month or whatever. And so yeah, I'll be a little bit tight for the next couple weeks, which is no big deal. And so just need to manage this. I'm probably going to leave Doge at $5. But yeah. And so coming back to the AMC chart, let's just talk about this a little bit. I think that this retracement is important. We did come back to 172, and the move up here, I don't know that we really need. Oh, well, I mean, what that highlights this fib retracement is that we pull back to the 382, the blue line there. We did lose the 20-day. Here, I'm actually gonna, let's see. If I click the retracement, it's highlighted over here. I can remove it a little easier. Cool. A little less clutter. We did lose the 20-day simple moving average, which is actually, well, let's see about that. The 20-day is at 215 and we closed at 216. So we actually reclaimed it, and we're above all the other moving averages that I have on here, which is going to be 20-day, 50-day, let's see, 100-day in, wait, sorry, 100-day in purple, and then 200-day in red. So we're above all of those technically. So I think it's looking pretty good. And let's go over to, yeah, let's just look at the max pain for AMC real quick. I'm just going to refresh this. Well, I guess refresh it. Let's see. Okay, AMC. Yep, so same thing that I showed in the tweet, that $2, lots of green. And so max pain's moving up, but I think that there is momentum in the stock and the contracts. And so let's go over that. I'm just going to start with the 1 day here. So we have the net call and put premium here, and then the 1 day for the individual contracts. And there's one actually that I do want to add to this, which is, that's a put. I don't want that one. So let's see, $1.50 call for next month. This one I want to add. Okay. And so, yeah, we're just looking at that. This one, I might sell a covered call on it. I'm thinking about it. I actually do have an order placed. I'm going to have to come back to this because it would be like, I want to get premium that would effectively put my average, considering the premium and the share sale, at $1.50 at a level that I'm happy with. So I'd be trimming on the way up to lower risk. I failed to do that because I did roll the contract, as I had mentioned, from $1.50 in June to $3.50 in July. And that's because it would have been expired in the money, and I would have been assigned and had to sell 100 shares at $1.50. So I rolled it at an expense of $100. But anyways, what we see here for Friday in the net call and put premium. Let's see. I've just got my little my laptop on the side, and it's kind of, I don't see as much as I don't have as much on the screen as I would like. But I do see, okay, I see some more Chestad. I second MSTR. Okay, so maybe after AMC, I'll go over MSTR. So hopefully that is of interest or that works for you guys. And I'm not the best multitasker, so look it over at the chat, the screen, talking. I fumble with my words a lot. But just looking at AMC for Friday exclusively, the net premium, so calls and puts, stock price you see in yellow going up, and then at the end of the day, crazy, just kind of shot up. And with that, you see net call premium shoot up and net put premium drop down. And so we ended the day with net call premium up by 310,000. That's not a crazy amount. I'd like to see it in the millions, or at least a million. And then net put premium dropped by 62,000. So nothing too crazy there. And let's see. And then so now I'll just look at this over the past 7 days. So really like the past week, we can see that net call premium was up a lot over here. Closed the day on the 17th. Net call premium up 673,000, but it hit a high of around 1.2 million. And, stock price was going up Monday after the close, or maybe it was before open on Tuesday. I can't remember. Dropped down. But now we're starting to see call premium pick up again. So maybe that's good. And then, so let's just look at these again on the daily. Or just for the day, the $2 strike call that expires in a month. We see premium going up at the end of the day. And I sold one of these at the end of the day at 30 cents just because I have a bad habit of holding contracts too long. I had one of these left, and so I just sold it. I made 10%. I had bought at 27 cents. I sold at 30 cents. So turned $27 into 30. Nothing crazy, but there's no risk, so that's good. And also the image of Ed on the cover with cash. It's like, now's a good time to have cash on the sides. I kind of burned through a lot of it. I need to evaluate if I want to put some more money in this week and be a little more aggressive, but need to manage that, balancing stocks and crypto. But yeah, so AMC, $2, okay. Nice little spike there. It's a $31,000 candle premium there. And then 250, again, seeing the same kind of spike at the end of the day, 33,000. This is a $3 strike expiring next month. Spike at the end, but we do see, generally more buying here. But if we're just looking at the total premium, what we can see is it's not like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not, here for this one is the $2.50. Hundreds of thousands for the 2. Let's look over at the 3 now. Yep. It's not, these are getting more out of the money or further outdated. So this is a $2.50 strike for August. Big spike at the end of the day, 24,000 though, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. We also have $3 strike for August and $3.50. And really, let's see. Okay, that no big spike at the end of the day. And then the $5 strike call. This is one that I do hold. And I actually, was planning on exiting the majority of them just because we had that gap down. I was a little concerned about it, but that order didn't fill. And I'm thinking I need to probably adjust that. So we'll think about that. But then also with these, I'm going to move these over to the 7-day now. And also consider the numbers here, the change in the open interest. So the $5 one that expires in January, ups and downs in open interest, going back in time to the 350 August. Open interest just increasing, but some of those candles are red, so that could be some selling of covered calls. So that's possible. $3 strike call for August, more red. So I'd say there's probably more selling of covered calls here. And that's what, selling to open, I believe is the term for selling a covered call that increases open interest. 250. And this one for August, 250, also seeing more, consistent green here, just 1 day of red. $3 we actually saw into Friday, so not on Friday. And actually I would be surprised if it was a net decrease when pre-market is. So this is one maybe is good to note for the AMC $3 strike call that expires in July. That open interest is currently 76,500, but we did have a volume of nearly 14,000 contracts traded on Friday. And they look majority greens. That's going to be filled on the ask side. That does suggest buying. And so that would suggest that the open interest would be increasing from, 76 to 80 to 90,000, somewhere around there. And so that would be a good look, maybe just a little bit of an off day there. And if we do scroll back in time, actually, let's go back past 30 days. You can see this big increase in candles here, more buying or selling, more transactions of these contracts. Majority looks green, but there's still some red there. And so if we go back to where we had this really big candle, that was on the 17th of July. Open interest before the 17th was 20,000. And now we're looking at it at 76,000. So that does make me think that, AMC could be going towards $3 a month from now, but that does not mean that this contract is good for buying. It's just, this is data information trying to understand what's going on with the market. All green here for the $2.50 strike call that expires in July. And let's see. So yeah, open interest from, let's see if I go back 30 days again, big spikes over here. But when it really started to pick up, that was on June 1st. We had an open interest prior to that of 5,000 contracts, and now we're at 50,000. So 10 times the number of contracts are now open. And so that's, I think, there's momentum, there's leverage in AMC with these contracts. The $2 strike call, I've actually noticed there's been more selling of this one. And with that, I think that there has been rolling from like the $2 strike to higher $2.50, $3 strikes, and also later dated. So I think that things with AMC are generally just looking good from the option standpoint. And I think that this is just something that the business needed to do. I would have felt bad about this if the week ended lower, if we continued lower, but it looks like, the open on Tuesday after we got the news about the raising capital, it was on June 23rd, opened at 211. We closed above that. So this is effectively, in my view, like a rising three methods, sort of, in that we have 3 red days and then we bounce to reclaim all of those losses, closing higher than we began on that drawdown. So I think that looks good. We just need to get back up here, get that momentum going to the upside. And yeah, and so, I still think that this could be going to 3. I still think that this could be going to 4. I did delete my doodle just because I was wrong with that. And I don't think I really need to get this any more cluttered than it is. But I had drawn this higher high trend line. I think that we do need to get above that. So let's say like 250. I think closing next week above 250 would be really good, because if we do look over at Max Pain for, actually there's no options expiration for the weekly. So yeah. So with that being said, I am just gonna, you guys shouldn't be able to see it, but I'm going to just do some stuff in a spreadsheet for myself. Hopefully you guys can't see that. There's a little bit of delay in what I'm looking at. But yeah, let's see. Chested did follow up. Interested in any thoughts on long-term viability of MSTR? Yeah, I think that, let's see. MSTR, I think that, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I've been in the crypto space for a long time. Unfortunately, I didn't hold at the bottom, and there were people at the bottom like Michael Saylor, who are just, saying kind of ridiculous things, like take a mortgage out on your house, sell your kidney, just don't sell your Bitcoin. He's gotten a lot of heat for that, but he was right. And I think he's going to be right again. I think that, there are some parallel, or not necessarily parallels, there's some comparisons to what happened with MicroStrategy back in like the .com bubble. And his strategy was to just ride it out, and it ended up being a good strategy. I think that strategy will be higher, I'll say, at the start of the new year. I don't know how much lower it could go. And there's some stuff I can go over in the chart that might help out with that. And then also, I forgot to mention, I do have some stuff in my notes on levels that I was talking about last week. And so AMC $2 strike call, I'm just going to pull that up. That was this one. I was saying, oh, I placed a limit sell order at $2. I was like, there's no way it's at 14 cents. And so, yeah, I mean, that could still be viable, but I ended up getting out of that just for 10% profit. I could have gotten out a few days ago at like 90 cents, I think was the high, 97 cents. But it is what it is. I'm not worried about that. I'd rather walk away with some money and no risk than hope for more money with more risk. Yeah, so with AMC, I had up here just on my spreadsheet let's see, maybe it would be more useful for me to pull up the contracts for you guys to see. So for the $1.50 strike for, let's see, for July, and I'm gonna probably want to look at some of I'll just do it over the past 7 days. Let's see. I have a limit sell for $1, and that would effectively put my sale at $2.50. Although over here we did see a high of $1.48. I think that I'm probably just going to leave it at $1 because I think that it would be a little too greedy wanting to get the 148. We lost the momentum. The clock is ticking. And I think that it just needs to have a big volatile move to the upside. It may not. Selling at 250, if we look at the chart, that would have been higher than my effective sale at, let's see, at over here, or sorry, not over here, at 220. That would have been my effective sale considering premium and where I'd sell the shares at. So at 250, I think that's fine, and I can always roll if needed. And then the next one, $2 strike for July. Let's see, my limit sale is for 50 cents. That's effective sale at $2.50 again. And yeah, I mean, this one, the stock price is above 2. It needs to have, I mean, maybe I would change this if we're like gapping up crazy into Monday. But 50 cents was the high following the drop. And yeah, and then I could roll these if I felt the need to. Yeah, and that's actually what I would probably want to do. If they get filled, then immediately start thinking about, okay, what would I roll them to? Place that order. And then I can just kind of step it up. So yeah, so effectively selling 100 shares at 250 by selling one of these contracts, $1.50 strike for $1. So that puts that up to 250. And then selling one of these $2 strike calls for 50 cents puts it up to 250. And then I have some that I'm rolling. I talked about this before. These numbers I probably do want to adjust. And so one is the $2.50 strike call. I'll be rolling it to the following month, but that would be to get an effective sale at $4 with a limit of 130. Do I think I could get 130 on this? No, but let's see. Okay, so that's like $4 would be my effective sale. Looking over at the chart, the high was 296. So this is $2.50. I mean, if I sell it at 50, that's like 3. And the high on Friday was 16. So I think 130 is a little excessive. Let's just do, let's see, the high from the past was 60. So that's a pretty notable decrease. And that would put my effective sale at, let's see, 330. Still, price hasn't hit that level. So I'm going to adjust that order. I'm just opening up Webull on my phone. and that is the $3 strike. Okay, so modify order. And I'm going to change that to 60 cents. I think that's a little more reasonable. And then I can roll it always if needed. Okay, and then the next one that I have is the $3 strike. And that is, let's see, 130. And so the high that we saw was 39 cents actually. So maybe I want to make that limit 39 cents. I had it at 130 as well. And so that will put my effective sale there at 309. I guess that's one that I rolled last week. I'm just trying to understand this. Yep, so that's the one that I rolled into last week, I believe. Or no, a couple weeks ago. Yep, okay. So that's why it would be only selling at like $3.09. But yeah, I'm just going to adjust that. Oh, wait, I had screwed this up. Let's see, $3. Modify. Sorry, I mean, I would just be doing this normally by myself instead. I'm just talking you guys through what I'm doing. And so I got to be tag teaming on this stuff. Otherwise, time is completely lost for me. All right. And then the final contract that I have there is the $3.50 one. I was considering selling that. Oh, and I don't have that up here. I was considering selling that. Let's see, 350. Okay, where is it for? Not seeing it here. So I'm just going to have to search specifically for a call, 350. There we go. And so the high that we saw for this looks like it was 27 cents. And I had my limit sale at 50. So I'm going to do that to 27. And that would put my effective sale at 390. So that looks a little bit better. And let's just see. Okay. And this is the last thing I need to do for AMC. And then we can go on to strategy. All right. And I'm going to drink some coffee. And so Chess Dad is following up with MicroStrategy, so I'll go over that one next. And he's saying, which you guys can read above me, that Michael Saylor's added a bunch of bonds and dividends that weren't there earlier. I'm a bit worried. So, oh, you're talking about like Stretch and Strive, I believe, Strike. I believe Strive is one of them, but that's also the name of a company, this one. So, but yeah, I think that I mean, let's see. Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the data. Somebody had a post about, and I don't think I posted. What's the next one that I have? Okay, so that's backed, so I'll have to come back to that. So for strategy, it did close below 88. Somebody was posting about, this is Josh Mann. I think it's Josh Mandel. He was talking about 84 being an important level. And we came back to that. If we do look at Oh, okay, yeah. So I drew some of these lines up. I was like, oh, we're below that white line. What's that mean? So I drew some of this stuff out yesterday. I took the day off work and I was just kind of preparing stuff for this stream. But what we see here is the Fibonacci retracement from the low here, April 2nd. That was at 116.40. And then we got the high here at 197. Fib retracement, clearly we've broken below all of those levels. But then I just added the 1618 and the 2618 down here. And so the 1618 is at 84. And we're effectively right there. I mean, we closed below it. Doesn't look so great. If you look back at that horizontal line, that also corresponds with some interesting stuff in the past, kind of like the double top here that we hit after piercing it. And this was February 2021, and then high here, April 2021, and then again in November 2021. So the high's there. And then so that is at $88, kind of confluence with the 1618 extension there at 84. And then if we look at this fib retracement, this is on the the log scale. We see the low here at 1326, the high at 543. The 50% retracement is right around where we're at. I do think that this could come lower to the 618 around 55. We do have the 2618 at right around 50, and then 5228 corresponds with the high that we hit March of 2022 before kind of falling off the cliff here. And there's also, and with that, I mean, just between those two white lines, a lot of consolidation here. That's going to be tough for us to get through. And so I think that it might take a while, it might take the rest of the year, but it's like Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, was talking about, or he just replied to something or reposted how somebody was saying, oh, like there's like always in the 4-year cycle with crypto, it's like this seasonal cycle that there's always this, massive drawdown. And Brian just retweeted it saying, yep. And it's like, wow, that seemed kind of bearish, but it's like we had already come back so much. So I don't think that there is, I think that now it's closer to the bottom than to the top. And so I think now is like a good time to not panic sell, because you could be panic selling the bottom. The bottom might be a month from now, though. But I think the end of the year, I suspect it will be higher. If not, that's going to suck. Also, you see a lot of people saying, oh, look, head and shoulders. Just a lot of irrational bashing of Michael Saylor. And that's the bottom. Those are bottom signals, in my view, because it's not just an isolated thing with strategy. It's also like Bitcoin just hit a new low for this wave down and stuff. So, I think that, and coming back to Matthew's tweet here, I think that if we're bottoming in Bitcoin, I think that's going to be bottoming in MicroStrategy. I think it's also lined up with these other indicators that we're near bottom. So I think that when people really start to question this stuff, when people start to be insulting or aggressively attacking people, I think it's more of like bottoming signals. But I could totally be wrong with that. With strategy, though, I think I placed some buy orders on Friday that would close at the end of the trading session, and they didn't get filled. And one of them for strategy was 80. Hit a low on Friday. Sorry, I keep zooming in and out. Hit a low of 81.81. Also, look at the chart here. RSI is at 23.56, definitely oversold. It was definitely oversold over here, and I had drawn, lower lows, higher lows. It did go up some, but then it came down a lot more. Let's see. What do we have here? Lower lows. This is also, it's basically flat going across it for RSI. I think that this is all just, yeah. So anyways, what I'm going to do here for my notes, I'm going to write, let's see, just want to do this. So for strategy, and I tend to add one share at a time, and I'm really not aggressive, but I feel like 80 makes sense, just divisible by 10, whatever. So I'm just going to note that for myself. But really, I mean, we're below. Like 88.22 is the level that I have going across. That seems kind of significant. Yeah, I mean 80. I mean, we've broken below these. If we cut through 80, I think it's probably going to, let's say 55. That's the 618 over here in yellow. 54.76. So like, if it doesn't go to 80, or if it cuts through 80, I think it's probably going to 55. And so I think that's something good to be prepared for. But I think within this range, it will bottom. So that's my perspective on strategy. We can look up some contract data. So I don't think I have, I guess I have a contract over here pulled up. But yeah, I mean, everybody's so bearish on it, so concerned. I would not do contracts with strategy or stretch. I will be adding to my stretch position and also getting paid out the dividend, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of an experiment that I'm doing. And yeah, I think that strategies in bottoming mode. It could go lower, but I think 55 is probably where it'd be going. Orion's saying, smash the like button, make sure you do it. And so Ryan's also saying, DCA every day, my degens. Yeah, so I mean, like, in some positions, for me, it's just led to just like slowly bleeding as things go down. My average gets higher up relative to the price. But in others, it serves me very well to keep emotions out, accumulate. And in some of the positions, I've made a decent amount of money. Most not. Most of my positions aren't terribly large, or it's the ones that go down forever that are large. But yeah, I mean, like, I started to get into crypto in like at the end of 2017. And I learned hard lessons, buying the top and then exiting too early when I was like back to break even, years later, and then buying the top again and then selling the bottom or not getting back in at the bottom. So yeah, I mean, to me, crypto is just like now when everybody's freaking out, this is the time. Where you make money by just being cool, tuning out the noise. And also that can be like not overexposing oneself. Don't want to have too large of a position. And so stretch is one of the derivative stocks from strategy. Since I just went over strategy, I'm also going to go over stretch. This is pretty insane. I think I do have a tweet about this. Because I'm just like, grabbing at straws or whatever the saying is. I'm a drowning man. And let's just see. It's going to be one of my later. Yeah, look at this. Is this what bottoming looks like? And so 59 views, no likes. This is just the stretch chart. It's supposed to be right around $100. And then you get paid 11.5% monthly. And they just changed it to bi-monthly, or every 2 weeks, or twice a month, I guess I should say. And so the reason why they did that is because every time they would issue or they pay the dividend, people would take that dividend and then they'd sell, and then you get these drops. And so it'd be like a once a month thing. People would buy it, it's around $100. And then they get paid their 11.5% APY, so annual percentage yield. So it's really like 1.15%, or no, really, I guess it's like about 1% per month ends up being 11.5% over the course of the year. And so they would do that just to collect that dividend. And so, in an effort to kind of cut that down, they are doing that every 2 weeks. And so hopefully, it'll be more around $100 like it has been the past few months. But then it just started to kind of cascade down. One of the things interesting about Stretch, it should be around 100. There are options. And so you can kind of get a leverage cascade. And that could be why this happens. Just options, squeezing, whatever, all of that stuff. And this ended up going to the downside. Everybody's bashing, everybody's talking so much trash. But what you see is from the high over here, which is I think 118, to the low here, the most recent, dramatic low, and then up back to the high around 118, something like that. I did do it, pinpointing to the highs and lows. And what we see is the Fibonacci extension going down to the 4236, 7270. And, we cut through the 3618 at 7619. I was hoping we were going to close above that, but we didn't. And so that doesn't look so great. But at the same time, this is massive red coming down. We get this big green candle. And it happens to correspond with this fib extension. It's very interesting when everybody's so bearish. We see, massively oversold 11.18 RSI. That's insane. And they're going to be paying the dividends soon. And so for me, I'm a pretty small account, but I do have a notable position. And so I'm really just going to kind of view this as I can get my average down while also getting more shares, so I can get more premium or more dividend payback. And then basically by April of next year, I hope to be good with it. And so with that being said, I think that 72.70 is an important level, but that might not get tested. We might have already done that. So then I would say it closed at 74.57. And so what I'm thinking is that what I really want to see with Stretch is that it gets above 76.19, holds that, closes the week above that, and then I think that, the bottom may actually be in. This is, 25% off sale, like a huge sale you would get during Amazon Prime. We're seeing that. The sale ended on Friday. I think it's good to kind of have that mindset. And so I'm trying to have that mindset. And so, and actually I'm noting this stuff in my notebook, but I really should just be doing it in my spreadsheet. But yeah, so let's see, Stretch. I'm thinking having fun with it. Really like below 76.19. I think that it's going to get back above that and start going higher. So I think it's like discount territory now. So it could just, buy at the market right away. But I'm going to have fun with it. And I'm going to do 74.20. And then if it pulls back lower, maybe do a buy. Maybe it doesn't get to 72.70, so maybe just 73. And so I'm just going to note these in my spreadsheet. Actually, I don't think I do either of these in the spreadsheet because it's a different account. But, I actually don't have either of them noted here. So it's good that I put them in my notebook. Okay, cool. So we can move on from there. I've been in, Orion saying, been in and out of CleanSpark a few times now. And also saying, started buying ETH the last month, been buying XRP for the last few months, sold out a couple years ago, and finally jumping back in. I think you're doing that at the right time. I remember probably less than a year ago, or maybe it was a year ago at work, a couple of guys were talking, I don't talk about this stuff at all because I've talked about it in the past. And then it's like, you can't control other people's emotions. And also, I might very well be wrong. And so I just don't want to talk about it because people are going to panic and be selling now when, you know, it looks like things are going down to zero. It's like, well, this is actually the time, in my view, that we could be forming a bottom. And so, but like a year ago, I heard a couple of people saying, oh, I was hoping to get more XRP below $2. And it definitely went below $2. So I'll pull up XRP and Doge real quick. XRP, this is one I've not been adding to. I feel like I've seen like, I don't have TikTok, but like I've seen like TikTok videos on it. And I think that just because it's around, you know, $1, $2, whatever it is, it's more accessible to like the person who's not crypto native and they see it as more appealing. I'm not as interested in XRP. It's like they think that they're better than the other coins, stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't really like them as much. So I haven't been adding, although you bring it up, now might be a good time to add if it goes back up to 3. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, I just don't need the exposure, the extra exposure. A couple of things to note. We do have lower lows here. And even, you know, coming back to here, lower lows, but that actually doesn't illustrate my point. We have higher lows in the RSI, and so that's going to be bullish divergence. And so that could be a very good sign for XRP, crypto in general. So, yep, maybe that's something to be excited about. So many Doge. I think this is the one that I have the drawings on. And maybe there will be a little Doge that pops up in one of these. Sometimes they animate a little Doge. I think it's the Coinbase one, but I'm not seeing them. Oh, well. So Doge also, same thing. Bullish divergence with lower lows and higher lows. So I'm not panicking about this. It's below 8 cents. Like I said, I'm just doing $5 a day with Doge. It's below my average. Happy to add to it. I like Doge. I like the community. I think it's fun. Let's see, you had also mentioned Ethereum. So I believe this is one that I got some drawings on. Actually, I'm not sure why. I think I drew something back here. I don't think I need to have this second ETH on there because my idea did not play out. I don't need to be reminded of it. But let's see, this is kind of like a double bottom. This is like a weak bullish divergence because it's the bottoms. The bottoms are where you get the bullish divergence. Yeah, this is flat in the price. The RSI is higher lows. So that's bullish divergence there. But yeah, I just think like fundamentally ETH is more sound than the other alts, and get a little bit more out of it than Bitcoin, I think, if it does go up, but also more to the downside as well. So yeah, I think Ethereum, I think I'm adding $20 a day to. Same with Bitcoin. Solana, I'm doing $5 a day. Doge, $5 a day. Cardano, I think $10 a day. This also has that same bullish divergence. Litecoin, I think I'm doing $8 a day. Same, I gotta highlight this in all of them. And let's see. I was doing $8, or I am doing $8 a day with Ondo. But I think I'm actually going to switch this to $5 a day so Chainlink can catch up to it. It's lower on the list. I feel more confident in Chainlink than Ondo. And so that should be reflected in my weighting. And so I'm going to do $8 a day with Link for next week. And actually, starting a new month of July, I might do $30 or $40 a day for Bitcoin, up it from 20. And then also Pengu, I think I'm doing $5 a day. Nothing crazy, but I like it. It's fun. DCA is the way for sure. Damn shot. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like what I started last year, and I'm just keep going with it. Maybe it's a terrible idea. um, but yeah, I mean I really just kind of want to build out positions to be the right weighting distribution, and I haven't done that yet. But yeah, I mean these are all ones that I like hold or have held, and I'm not adding to most of them, or maybe I'm just adding to half of them. I'm not sure. But yeah, when stuff's down, that's when I want to be adding. And then need to be more disciplined. I was up 2x on my ETH last year, and my thesis was that it would go higher. If I would have been trimming when I was in the green, just like the opposite of DCAing, I would be in a better position. But it is what it is. We learn, no big deal. And so let's go on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Strive, ASST. This is one. Let's see. I'm just going to pull up my info so I can see where I'm at with it. I have a small position. My average is 1739. And I could have, fully exited here, but now buying as it goes lower, as it's below my average. Like I said, though, very small position. And so I think last week I had it noted 1313. But I decided, I think I just had an alert, and then it went below 1313. I added at 13. And I think now I do have a buy at 1042. Having fun with the numbers. Oh, actually, no. Not because of 420, but because if we look at this Fibonacci retracement here, the 618 is 1042. Did hit a low of 1085. I don't need to add. And so I'm just going to leave it at 1042. Makes sense based on this. If we dip, it gets filled. That's great. Getting my average down. If it doesn't, then it's going up. And so that's great as well. So I'm just putting this in my little spreadsheet. And let's see. All right. And also, let's see. I guess I swung something with AMC last week. Or no, I think I added to my... I'm actually going to go back to AMC real quick just because I want to look at the contract over here. The $5... Are these out of order now? No, right here. The $5 strike call. I had added one more contract I had been trimming on the way up. I added one more. I was going to be at 35 cents, but then I added more at 25. And so maybe 20 would be the next level. So I'm just going to note this. AMC, and that is the $5 strike call for January 15th of 2027, and that would be at 20 cents. So that could be a level to add another contract going long. Okay, but then coming back to the chart here. And so let's see, I'm just gonna move this over. Actually, you might be able to see it if I move it over to the other screen. So I'm just gonna look over at the chat here. Orion was following up. DCA is the way. No, that's what I tell people to do in speculative sectors. In my opinion, crypto is, yep. Same with genomics. I don't follow really anything biopharmaceutical. Or genomics, anything like that. So I'm not too familiar with them. Don't have the ability to know what the best ones are and who will take over, so I DCA into the ones I think are best in a shotgun approach with small size like you are doing with crypto. I don't know what crypto will outperform or why So shotgun a bunch and hope, yeah. And so for me, like my most exposure in crypto is Bitcoin, and I just view that as retirement. And then below that, my next highest exposure is Ethereum, then Solana, then Doge. And those are the ones that I feel most confident in. I actually am more attached to Doge than Solana, but I felt like I had to have Solana slightly above it. And, I plan on selling all of those at some point, other than Bitcoin, once I retire. And by retire, I mean 65 plus. Um, and then let's see, Senpai. I'm not sure what Senpai means, but I only add uh, one a day, one a day. Yep, it's not like, and also I think in investing, if what you're doing is boring, it's probably a good idea. If it's exciting, probably a bad idea. My friend has been buying one a day for 2 years now. When it hit $1, he bought a few hundred. Nice. I assume you're talking about XRP. I'm sitting on 6,510 AMC, 600 GME. GME is an interesting one that I'll get to. Um, I I bought the dip with Galaxy Digital using $500 I was going to use to buy back shares for GameStop that I had sold a covered call on. It didn't hit $5, so $500 for the contract. And so I feel fine about it. But at the same time, it's like I kind of want to go long. And also, I don't know if you saw the All In podcast interview with David Friedberg. He's like my favorite guy on their podcast. He interviewed Ryan Cohen. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a bright future for GameStop with the eBay acquisition. And actually, somebody at work, I don't really do too much with eBay, but somebody at work was talking about, he does like Pokemon cards and auctions, trading cards and stuff. And he was doing it with Whatnot. I'm not familiar with that app, but it's like a live auction. eBay doesn't do those. Ryan Cohen was talking about that. And it just seems like eBay has really failed their business. They built something successful and then they let it sit, They haven't continued innovating. He wants to be innovating. I think that's really good. I think that he would be great for eBay, and I think that would be that expansion of GameStop, or that combination of them, would make a lot of sense. Effing legend. Yep, David Friedberg is the best. Like, it's like, I don't know how you feel about JCal. I find him so annoying. He's also been talking a lot of trash about Michael Saylor. He's also talked a lot of trash about the CEO of Anduril, or on Anduril, Palmer Luckey, who seems like a really smart, talented guy. And yeah, I mean, he talks so much. He's so annoying. And then let's see, Chamath. Sometimes he has really, really great takes, but also, I mean, it's Chamath. And we all know him from like SPACs and stuff. And then also David Sachs. I think that he's really good, but I just think that Friedberg has, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's just like a lovable guy. I love Friedberg. And yeah. And so, yeah, I'm going to continue on, and then we will get to GameStop, and Chewy's also on the list because I had noticed some stuff with that. Oh, I forgot to pull up. Maybe I have the Chewy tweet up here. But yeah, for ASST Strive 1042, I guess I've already done that, so I'm good for my bookkeeping. And so let's just look up. I don't have a contract pulled up here, but let's just look at this. And so the most premium that was traded on Friday, 105,000. And that is, it doesn't really matter. I really just want to look at the data. Net call and put premium coming down, both of them negative. If we look over the past 7 days here, put premium coming down here on the 22nd. So that was, I think, Monday. Net put premium came down by 1.4 million. So that's kind of a good sign bottoming. But then you see the stock price continue lower in yellow. And yeah, I mean, you see it falling off a cliff. If we do look over at Max Pain, ASST, 14 closed at 1134. So yeah, I mean, Max Pain is above it. So I think that the pressure is just going to be kind of on with this. So yeah, I mean, a 1042 fill just, and then if that gets filled, then reassess. Maybe it comes down to 876, but I think 1042 seems reasonable for ASST. And moving on to the next one, this is backed. This is also like a Mike Alfred stock. And the reason why I've got all this stuff on here is because I've been tweeting about it. So I just want to follow up with that. Oh, Chewy's the next one. Backed is over here. And so I had earlier pointed out, beginning of June, it looked like it's in this channel. You know, it seems like I was right with the channel, although we got a fake breakout, broke back in, and now the bottom of the channel is acting as resistance, it looks like. So that doesn't really look so good, but we do have higher lows formed. Is this trend line support? We'll have to see. And so that makes me think that would be a level to pay attention to, probably corresponding with the low over here from this inverted hammer candle, which is a very nice bottom there, very pretty. And so let's just look at, you know, this, maybe we get a wick to it. The low was 755. What was the low over here on Friday? 768. So maybe it wicks a little bit lower. 755 would be the level. And so, oh, and I actually already have a limit order placed at 750. And so I'm actually just going to leave it at 750. Because do I need to add more? I think I have more exposure to backed than I do ASST. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at, what did I say, 750? But really like 755, the low over here. What was the low on June 9th? 738. So yeah, like not like still maintaining a higher low. Actually, I mean, it's just 5 cents. That makes more sense over here with 755. So I'm going to adjust that by 755. And it's just one share. Nothing exciting at all. So let's see. Backed just for a dip buy, just to add a little bit. Get my average down. All right, cool. So that's done. And then the next one on the list, it looks like is going to be Bitmine Immersion. This is, you know, very similar to MicroStrategy. And I think that they are going to be doing something similar to Strategy with their Stretch ETF, or not ETF, but like dividend paying stock. But if we are looking over here, oh, backed. I didn't even look up. I need to take a step back, and I actually do hold a contract. So before getting to Bitmine, I just want to look at the data over here. This is a contract that I hold, $15 strike, closed at 844. So this is not going to be in the money. At this point, getting into July, this is going to close. I mean, there's no volume on it. There's nothing being traded. So what I think I need to do, I had got one of these at 80. I had a limit sell at 90, and that's not happening. So I think what I need to do, what would I get the sell? Sell is 0. Okay, so, but we did have some exchanges over here, and maybe this is picking up. Yep, this did bounce from there. I don't think that 755 is going to get filled. 750, 755, I don't think it's going to get filled. Looks like it's bouncing here. And if we do get that momentum to the upside, you know, the fill over here is 17. And so I think that's like the best that I'm probably going to be able to do. So I'm going to adjust my exit from 90 cents to 17. I'm going to be accepting a notable loss. And actually, I can't do 17. The day before was 15. I'm just going to do 15 because I have to do in 5-cent increments. I mean, there's just no volume on this. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. Probably accept a loss on it. but that's better than it going to zero. So that's going to happen anyways. Oh, and I need to check over here the max pain for backed. $2, that's insane. Did close above the max pain. I don't even know if that's right. I don't know that that can be right. Might have been an error in the calculation there. But yeah, now let's move on to BitMine. And also, okay, Orion's got some more in the chat, so I'm just going to read his comments here. Let's see. I'm really hoping they try and tank GameStop so Cohen can buy a bunch in a dip. Yeah, JCal is the worst. Chamath is snaky snake, but he does make good bets. I just think that some, like, take everything from Chamath with a grain of salt. But I think that some of his takes on things are just like, wow, that's exactly how I feel. Like if it's, or that makes total sense, But yeah, Snaky Snake, I could see that. I really didn't like them trying and push SpaceX so they could dump it. Well, that's how I felt about it. So I don't think that's what, I think it's just that a lot of them, and Gavin Baker, he was on the podcast that came out yesterday along with Travis. I forget his name, the guy who started Uber. Now he's on, Freeberg's not on this week, unfortunately. But my impression is like Gavin Baker and a lot of them have really been involved in SpaceX as venture capitalists. And so I think it's just kind of like they're seeing what their investments, what their hard work has been doing, board meetings, all of that, decisions on, stuff with Starships, Starlink, all of that stuff, explosions that they've had to deal with when the I forget when it was, like a year ago, and they just had a launch recently from that pad. I think it's just like really emotional for them in the investment, the belief that they've had in Elon and all of the backlash. So I think they're just excited to see what the public values it at. But yeah, I don't own any SpaceX. I do own Tesla. And I think that they will be merged, as they've talked about on the podcast. And I think that a good way to get shares of SpaceX will probably be just buying Tesla and then they get merged. I think that SpaceX is probably going lower. So I'm chilling. I wouldn't want to get any of it unless it's below $100 a share, really. Or at least 135, which is what they were supposed to start at. But they started higher than they were planning on. And so I should have bought the initial IPO, but I was scared, so I stayed away. But in 6 months, 100%, a year, I might start buying. Yeah, and one of the things, it's like looking back on my life, I remember I went to school in Boulder, Colorado, I don't know if you guys have ever been, it's a really cool place. When I was starting there, that would have been like 2006, 2007. There was a showroom, a Tesla showroom on Pearl Street. And I remember they had like the Roadster there, and I would just like walk by it thinking like, that's insane. This guy's totally going to fail. But then also that at the same time, the movie, what's it called? Who Killed the Electric Car? Something like that was out. And that was about how GM had an electric vehicle that they can. It was the EV1. And it's because it was going to put the oil industry, that aspect out of business. And and so it's like the legacy auto manufacturers are burying electric vehicles. Elon was able to do that. And I just thought it was like so speculative, but I was pursuing a degree in earth science, in chemistry and earth science. And I should have gone down the route of solving the problem, not understanding the problem. And solving the problem, electric vehicles, whatnot, renewable energy. And also, since I've left my career in academia, it's really made me realize I should have been betting on Elon my entire adult life. But instead, I've effectively been around people that have just been like bashing him, that hate him, that think that, all the stuff that was happening when he was in Doge was justified. I think that's completely ridiculous. So I've kind of, looking back, I wish I would have been I think that would have been a better direction for my career. And so, yeah, well, I really have a lot of belief in Elon, whether that's SpaceX or Tesla. Tesla right now, I think, is on sale, but it might be going lower. SpaceX, I don't think it's on sale. Watch some of that one. Let's see. I should have bought the initial IPO, but was scared, so I stayed away 6 months. 100%. Watch some of that one. So soil science. So I didn't do soil science. I did ocean science, oceanography. Which, yeah, I would have been pursuing a career in academia, and I realized as a straight white man, and the struggles that I was having just, in a competitive space, there's no hope. So I left with intentions of teaching that kind of stuff online with YouTube, but that failed. People would say they support, but then they wouldn't show up to support. And yeah, but anyways, coming back to the charts, Bitmine, we did see higher highs here, but then this is a lower high. Did see higher lows, but then this was a lower low, and now it's kind of going lower. Where do I see this going to? Where could a bottom be? I mean, I think that we might have hit it at 1395, which is above us now. Thinking about this and kind of like stupid, I think that the bottom's here. What was my last, or 15, so I guess I bought last week at 1550 and then also at 14. So I don't feel too bad about that. And so I think, in my view, that the bottom's hopefully in with this, but it's probably going to go lower. If I think it's going to go lower and I don't need to be exposing myself to more risk, I would say $13. And so I'm just going to note that as a level for me to be alerted if it goes down there, but I don't think that's going to happen. And let's just look over at some Bitmine contracts. Past 7 days. This is one that I've been watching. I don't hold it. $23 strike for August. It's currently at like $13.56 at close. We do see stock price coming down. Net put premium in red going up. Although we did see net put premium drop by 5.4 million over here. So that's pretty notable, suggesting that the bottom could be in. Doesn't seem like that's the case. If we look over at Bitmine, the max pain, 14, close below it. Next week it's 15. I think it's going to take some time to really bottom. But yeah, I mean, the levels here, like 14, I think that's probably, a good, like if I get cash, if I sell something in profit, have a lot of cash on the side, I'd probably buy more aggressively here. But since I don't have a lot of cash on the side, I'm just going to wait for 13 for Bitmine. And hymns. I'm not since I'm taking so long at this stream. It's been going on for. Well, let's see. And actually, this is probably an easier way for me to view the chat. And then I'm just seeing, rather than looking over at the screen here, I can just see it here. So I actually didn't need to fumble with YouTube at the beginning, although I did for putting in the poll. And so Orion's saying from California, cool. I hope things are going. It seems like I was really upset by how the fires were handled, and I was really excited by Spencer Pratt. But it just seems like, I mean, I'm a former Democrat. I'm independent now. But I feel like Democrats have just done so many shady things around elections, kind of like blocking Bernie Sanders in 2016, introducing Joe Biden kind of last minute in, I think, 2020. And then, and I mean, I think that it is, one can wonder, did Trump actually get the majority of the votes for 3 elections? It's kind of crazy. I'm about to sell hymns next week, or a little rip buy more SoFi. I'm going to go over SoFi for sure. That one, I did talk about a level last week that hit. I did not partake in it, but yeah. Gavin is the worst for sure. Bernie Bro and the DNC effed him multiple times. And also, one of the things that, like, I feel like Bernie had such a good he was so good at speaking then, but then he got stabbed in the back by the DNC. And now I feel like he just continues to speak for like the DNC and has kind of, yeah, and it's like attacking Elon and all of that. I think that he has some good ideas, but I think that he's kind of like too captured and has had to bend the knee to the DNC, and I think that's what made him unique. And yeah, I mean, for me, I to be honest, I feel like the Democratic Party needs to fail in order for things to kind of get back to, I don't know, more normal, less. I don't know, like I can't really talk openly about Elon, about, whatever, just like the market, I feel like is a real truth teller. And without people hate like EDS or TDS type of things. And it's like, I'm not even that, like I would say I'm not MAGA at all. But I appreciate those people. I appreciate, yeah, I feel like I'm very much in the middle, but I get attacked by people on the left, or at least I feel that way. And yeah, and I think, I forget what day it was. I think it was September 10th, when, we lost somebody. I had heard people that I work with celebrating that. And that's just crazy to me. How far people have gotten away from our common humanity, Dems have effed themselves. Yeah. So for me, it's like, am I a Democrat anymore? No. Am I a Republican? No. But I want to see the Democrats fail. And so I guess that makes me a Republican in that sense. It's so sad that the potential pedo is better president than Kamala or Biden. Yeah, I'm not going to get into any of that stuff. I don't. Crazy to see what's going on in Britain, though, as far as that stuff goes. And I feel like, yeah, I don't like. It's just so disgusting, any of that stuff. And I actually didn't realize. I feel like I grew up in a very privileged life. I wasn't aware of that stuff being so common, whether it's in Britain or, generally. I didn't realize that there were so many people that get abused in those ways as children. I did not know that. Just completely disgusting. And I think it's like, and as, yeah, it's just so disgusting. Yeah. And I think that, Epstein stuff, all of that, you can't trust anybody. They're all just so many bad people. But yeah, I'm going to get back to the charts. Don't want to get too off the rails. Looking at Cypher here. This is something, I think I drew this yesterday. Higher highs, weak bearish divergence, just need to break out an RSI. So like, I don't think it's really that crazy, but it's just been in this crazy channel. And let's actually remove all of the other drawings besides that one effectively. Well, not remove them, but just, I guess I can leave that. Fib retracement. Let's just clean that up. Parallel channel. I want to see that a little bit cleaner. And okay, I don't think I'm really removing too much that obscures this. But yeah, let's just look at this. Okay, what I could probably do is remove all these ribbons, just hide them. Look at this though. It's kind of like a little bit off here, but this is 10% deviation. Test there, highs testing, basically in the 10% area there, rejected. Crazy. We got the 50-day simple moving average just down below at 2207, currently at 2594 at the close. Cypher. This is a Mike Alfred one, also one that others who are critical of Mike Alfred are along this. And so, yeah, this is one that I have a position in, and I need to kind of evaluate what I'm going to do. I'm just going to see what my average is with it. Again, don't have a huge position with it. I think I was considering getting options, but I don't. I have a small position. Oh, I've actually been trimming on the way up, and then I've been buying back, increasing my average on dips. The last buy that I had, it looks like was at 26.31, and that's really just based on what my average is, whatever percent increment of 10% move down. And so last week I had bought Cypher at 27.11 and then again at 26.31. Maybe I shouldn't have been so aggressive, but I'm in the green. And so 25.94 is where it's at. I should also note the low was 23.80. And so for me, for my averages, let's see, 23.80. 23.68 is up 20% for me. And so 23.68, we have not hit that level yet. And so that's kind of an interesting level, 23.68. So I would, because 25.65 is up 30% for me. We're, effectively there, but maybe it goes a little bit lower. And that would be 23.68. Or maybe I want to base that on something on the chart here. 23.68. There isn't really 24. The low was 23.80. Yeah, I think I had said that. So 23.68. Oh, and I didn't put a level on for Bitmine, so I'm going to have to do that. 23.68. Just have that noted. And, oh, no, I did for Bitmine, 13. Okay. And so let's just look at some of the contract data here. I've got a bunch of contracts, as you can see. This is the $30 strike call for July 25.94 at close. And this is the 30, so this is out of the money. Premium comes down. Stock price. We did have net call premium up a lot on the 18th. So I guess that would have been on Thursday last week or 2 Thursdays ago. 9.9 million net call premium increase up, and then things have just cooled off. Is there any signal here that really stands out? So one of these I had noted last week, and that was the $42 strike call for August. And I was saying intrigued at $1.48. It hit a low of 73 cents. And this is $42 strike. So I think at this point, too far out of the money, too risky, but the premium has cooled off a bunch. I mean, this just seems like it's cooled off. And so maybe it could be having a leg higher. So like the high from Friday, let's just zoom in on the 1 day. Like the high was 108. So from 108 to 148, that could be a swing. So what I thought would be a nice dip buy, could maybe be the level to exit at. And then I'm just going to look over at these other contracts and I'll get back to the chat in a second. So there's that. So yeah, this is one I'm not interested in. It looks like it's cooled off. It's good, but it doesn't look like there's, actually over here, that looks like there's big money. I think that's actually longer dated calls. Yeah, so this big candle, 2.3, almost $2.4 million on the 18th. And that would correspond with this spike, or at least a portion of that spike, $25 strike call for September. It looks like the low the past week was 485. And yeah, so, this could be going up a lot, but that's a lot of premium to risk. $30 strike for September selling, but we also saw big spike. It looks like that was the beginning of the day on the 22nd, but that was $1.4 million, or no, that was the beginning of the day. It looks like it was the beginning of the day on the 22nd, but we don't really see much here. So it could have been some repositioning. These other contracts. This one, yeah, 17 for January Actually, it's not as much premium as I was thinking it would be. $40 strike call. Yeah, so I think like this is the one that's most interesting. $25 strike call. I'm not going to participate in it. I don't have a lot of cash on the side. But yeah, I mean, maybe this going back to 145 or, like $2. It was up there like a week ago. And so let's just pull up the max pain for Cypher just to get an idea with that. 26, and we close at 25.94, so just below it. Next week it's 25. So I think it'll be really interesting to see if it can hold, but with the max pains decreasing here and being right around max pain, I think it cools off a little bit. But then with these, for the monthly for July being at 22, then I think it could really ramp up. So I'd want to revisit this in a couple weeks probably. And so with that, I think I put it down there. So, and so let's just come back to look at the chat here. Nope, everyone is bought dry. Could talk about that. Sorry, could talk about that forever. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I started watching Asmongold about a year ago, and initially, like, I felt like he was too right-leaning for me. But it's just like I enjoy listening to his thought process. He demonstrates critical thinking really well. And some of his takes, yeah, he's a little more extreme than I would be. But I think he's totally based. I appreciate his perspective. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like I get my news through him getting his commentary. And sometimes I feel like a lot of times I agree with him. Sometimes he goes a little too far. But I think that you can only watch the news with a filter. And I think that doing that via a streamer is a nice way to do it. Okay, so Chewy, I think I've really just had like a tweet on this. Bullish divergence, lower lows. And I had actually tweeted about this. Let's see, what's this? Oh, yep, over here. This was just kind of like a exchange with Bustin and Cantonese Cat. Kind of, funny bro exchanges, whatever. I love Cantonese Cat. Bustin follows him, or Justin, I guess I should say. And yeah, it's just, being supportive, having fun, no judgment, whatnot. And so I was just saying, panicking, we're all panicking, but we're all doing good. We're not doing anything emotional. And I was just saying, wow, that's a pop. Impressed by MU. Oh, I'm not even going to go there because I haven't followed that stuff. And yep, impressed by Open being green on the day when it was red. But most everything else that I'm looking at was red. But Chewy, green after forming bullish divergence, just having fun. And yeah, so I mean, this was on a red day for most of what I was looking at. I believe the market in general, whereas Chewy was popping. That's very interesting. And looking over at the chart, it has cooled off since then. But to me, it's like, and also like with crypto, it's like if this was end times, you'd be seeing everything falling off a cliff. The fact that you're not seeing everything falling off a cliff, the fact that you're not seeing more speculative things falling off a cliff, and you're actually seeing things going up on red days. And that's kind of really what I've noticed with Ondo. I've been adding more to that. It's because, yeah, I mean, it's lost the 20-day. Wait, no, that's the 100-day is the purple line there. It's lost the 100 and the 200, which is in red. But I mean, if we're really falling off a cliff, why is this not making new lows? Sure, it looks like it's lost the moving averages. It's pulled back a lot, but this is telling me that things are waking up, that there is some divergence that we might be getting into an alt season at some point. And we're starting to see signs of that. And you see that with posts like this from Matthew, where he's talking about altcoin dominance. We're starting to see that bottom. We're starting to see things waking up. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to point that out. I'm not really going to go over it because I didn't have anything noted from last week. And I don't know that people are really that excited about Chewy. I think actually maybe I was looking at a contract. Nope, I don't have a contract here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to spend any more time on Chewy than that. But yeah, I mean, kind of risky, kind of scary. But yeah, I mean, looking at this Fibonacci retracement, 786 here is right around 19. That's where it's at. So I think it could be bottoming. I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, this looks like a head and shoulder pattern. It's going lower. I think it's going to fake people out. I think that it's going to probably bottom soon. And I know that Orion, I believe you had mentioned CoinSpark, a clean spark. So I'll go over them. Asman is a legend. He has wild outlooks on certain things, but I like him a lot. Yeah, and I think that it's also too, it's good to be able to have a conversation or to be able to listen to somebody that you don't 100% agree with or you don't 100% worship. I mean, just like I used to like try and clean myself up before I'd stream. I haven't been doing that. I've just been busy with other things. But like, I mean, he's just like really kind of a disgusting guy. But at the same time, I mean, that's how he wants to live his life. That's fine. And so I think that it is really good to be listening to people you don't 100% agree with. Because then if you do, then you get into like tribalism and stuff like that. And I don't think that's good. But yeah, clean spark here. Double top, it looks like, coming back to 1510, which was the consolidation level over here. I had previously identified, and we did get rejected there. We did bounce there. So I think it's a pretty important level. Also, the 50-day simple moving average is at 1492. I had been wanting to add at 14, which I think I had a limit buy for 14 on this day on June 5th. The low is 1406. And it would have just been for one share, so it's no big deal. But yeah, this is one that I really would like to get into. And so I'm just going to wait for a pullback, a cool off. And so that would just be like 1370. Is that 8? 1373, I believe, is the 382. I'd like to establish a position in that. You, Amy, I can cover it. Yeah, real quick. I'm just going to finish with Clean Spark. And then I'll go over USAR I had on my list, and I can also go over you, Amy. But let's see. Clean Spark, for me, I'm actually just going to check. Do I have it in my spreadsheet? I don't. I had previously, but yeah, 14. I'm pretty sure I just have an alert set there. Clean Spark, I don't have any contracts. I can pull it up just because I know Orion was asking about it. Oop, not Clean Spark. And so let's just look at the options data. Premium, most premium traded 350,000 on Friday. This is a January 2028 call. We do see net call premium up yesterday by 181,000, net put premium down. So it does seem good, but like over the past like 2 weeks, it's been up and down. Over the past month, maybe it's good for us to look there. Yeah, it could be cooling off. So I don't have a position in it. I'd like to, but I'm going to wait for it to be sub 14 to even considering just getting one share and then reassess. But let's look at the data over here. That is 16 max pain. It closed at 1633, so that's good. And then 1650, then 17. So I think that max pain is probably going to push it down, kind of like how it pushed it down over here. Or wait, no. Yeah, like the stock price got ahead of itself, and then max pain pushed it lower. Then max pain got ahead of itself, and then it bounced. And so I think that, it's kind of like getting into equilibrium between the stock price in gray, max pain in green with the red dots. And so that looks to me like it's kind of forming a bull flag, but it's just going to be cooling off more. Oh, I don't want to look at the contracts. Yeah, so I mean, I think that this looks like it could be a bull flag. And if it does break down, we got the 200-day simple moving average at 1323, the 100-day simple moving average at 1235. If it goes below 14, I think that's the time to be accumulating. And so I'm just going to wait. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm cheering for the company, for the sector, for those who already hold. And yep, so I'm not going to elaborate on that more, but then, I thought I had USAR on here, but I guess I don't. So you, Amy, let's look at that. You, Amy, I find when comparing with USAR, like I don't hold any of these. I exited you, Amy. I made some money on it, but looking at UAME versus USAR, just like even, let's see, removing the drawing so we don't have clutter. USAR seems like it's much stronger, pulling back to that 200-day simple moving average and bouncing, whereas with UAME, it's broken below all of the moving averages. So between UAME and USAR, it might be more expensive per share to get USAR because UAME is at about $7. USAR is at $20.50. I think this is a much cleaner setup if you do want to be investing in rare earth. But if this is bottoming, I think UAME could be bottoming as well. I just think that it could be getting a move up to that 200-day simple moving average and get rejected there. And that's around 835. Whereas USAR, it could be, again, moving up the same kind of percentage move. So let's just see here. To get to these moving averages up here, that's about a 20% move. I think that around $24, it could be stopping. If it does bounce, UAME, let's just think about this, about a 20% move. Yeah, to that 200-day simple moving average, around 150. Wait, no, it's a $1.50 move to the upside around 830. So I'd be cautious of that. And one of the reasons why I haven't really looked at USAR or UAME too in depth is because I do believe I have a USAR on here. It's blocking it. I was looking over and there's a delay in what I'm seeing. And let's just see here. Okay, so for not CleanSpark, I want to look up UAME. Just going to pull up whatever chart just to kind of get an idea, but I don't think there's going to be much options data. The most premium traded on Friday was 218, almost $219,000. That's a $5 call for November. It does look like seems like it was buying. And if I reduce this down to just one day, we're going to see a nice little exclamation point because the volume has exceeded open interest. So this could be a bullish signal, although it's only like 200,000, not hundreds of, I can't say not hundreds, it is hundreds, but it's not like $1 million. It's not over $500,000. So it seems kind of small. But this could be suggesting that a bottom is here. Doesn't mean it's going to be going to 5, but it could be finding a bottom. So yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. So I would look for like a 20% move, let's just say, whether that's UAME or USAR. If we look at USAR, this had, it looks like big orders for this contract that I was looking at about 5 days ago, 6 days ago. Net call premium was up by almost $1 million. And then it's just kind of cooled off. So yeah, I mean, I think with both stocks, really just the sector of rare earths, I think that UAME and USAR look like they're bottoming. I just think that USAR's resistance, if it breaks through, I mean, it could break through about 20% higher. Those are moving averages, the 20 and 50-day simple moving averages. Whereas UAME, if it gets a 20% move, it's going to be bumping into resistance below that at the 20-day simple moving average, showing a lot of weakness on the shorter time frame, getting up to the 200-day SMA. Then you got all these moving averages above. So I think, like looking at USAR, I think it could move up and potentially break out from these moving averages. But then comparing with UAME, I think it's going to get stopped out about after a 20% move and then have to consolidate before continuing higher. And so I think that's going to be the same type of thing with USAR. Both 20% move to the upside before slowing down momentum. Definitely keep your eye on SoFi. I can go over SoFi next. Yeah, definitely buy when it takes a dip and hopefully before Bitcoin rips. And I imagine that's with CleanSpark. And so, yeah, I'll go over SoFi next. I had up here, and I actually made a really good call on this last week. I did not partake in it because I was focused more on Galaxy Digital, which I think is the next ticker I'm going over. But no, it's not. I've got a few more to go over, which I'll go over kind of quickly. But SoFi, over here, Cantonese Cat's been talking about this bottoming. I wanted to scoop some up at 16. I think the low on Tuesday was 1672. So 16 might be behind us. We might not be able to get it. But last week, very interesting, I was talking about a $2 strike call that expires in September. Or sorry, $22 strike call. That expires in September. And I had noted that I think that there could be a buy at 72 cents. I think at one time, I think after the fact, I placed the order. But what was the low last week? 68 cents. So buying at 72 cents, sure, you would have been red for a little bit, but it's since gone up. The high on Friday was 102 with a high on the 24th, Wednesday, of 122. And so, yeah, let's just look at on Friday, closed at like 98. And so, yeah, I mean, that would have been a nice little swing. I could have participated in it. Instead, I focused more on Galaxy Digital. But yeah, looking at this, the net call and put premium, stock price in yellow comes down, goes up a little bit, comes back down. Looks like it's going back up. Net call premium is looking really good. $303 million net call premium on Friday. Looks really nice over there. We also saw a net call premium up by 1.8 million on Wednesday. We did see it negative a few days actually last week. 2 million down, 2.1 million over here, 886,000. But yeah, I think SoFi looks like it's probably going to be taken off. And let's just go over here to SoFi. Let's see. Max Pain 1750 and closed above 1788. And then with Max Pain coming down. So I think that this could maybe cool off for another week or two. But then once Max Pain goes down to 17, I think that's when it could really start to break out, get up to 22, get up to 26, somewhere around there. It's probably one that I'm not going to participate in, unfortunately. I don't have an order placed. I didn't get in on that call, which I think was an excellent call from last week. But oh well, I got to move forward. And so, let's see. I don't think I have anything in my spreadsheet for SoFi. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to sit on the sidelines with it. But that's okay. And then, yeah, I'm going to get back to these other ones that are up on the list. Coinbase. Oh, this is one that I think is interesting. I think that a lot of people could probably look at this and see a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. But actually, if you draw from the low to the lows, all of the lows across, this is actually not the right shoulder. That would have to extend to over here. But, that's really just a technicality. It, could still be head and shoulders. But I think a lot of people are just seeing this stuff as super bearish. But I think this is actually going to be like what Bronx Viking refers to as a WTF pattern, where you see something that looks like a head and shoulders, but then it actually does the exact opposite and breaks out a failed bearish move. There's nothing more bullish than a failed bearish move. And I think that's what we're going to see in the crypto sector. Maybe we do break down lower. But, I have, I think, just one share at 150. I don't plan on adding to it. At least not at this point, because I'm effectively at break even and down $1. So I'm not worried about it. Coin, I don't have a coin over here, but let's just look up just the general stuff. The premium, most premium, 3.5 million traded on Friday, and that was actually a put. This seems like it was probably selling of the put, potentially. So this is a $150 put, could be a cash secured put. That would actually... June, this is for next year. Yeah, so this seems like it's a bullish bet that, this person would buy. Yeah, I mean, I could do the math on it, but yeah, that seems... I'm going to add this to watch list because I'm going to kind of want to follow up on that. But yeah, that's very interesting because it's like the volume, let's see, I think I have a calculator window over here. Oh, wait, no, delete this. And so looking at that, that's 900 contracts. So 900 contracts at 150. So 900 contracts at 150 times 100 shares per contract. That is a $13.5 billion bet. No, that's million. That's million. I'm stupid. $13.5 million bet that to collect that premium, 3.5 million, that they think price is going to be above 150. And if it's below 150, they would then buy those 900 times 100 shares. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, I mean, for me, and this is one Cantonese Cat covers all the time. If this breaks down, let's actually do a little fib retracement. I think that seems like a totally useful thing to do right here. Oh, man, I've been like sanding a bunch. I took yesterday off to do a bunch of sanding, and now just like right in between my shoulders, just so tight. It sucks. But yeah, so let's do a fib retracement from this all-time low to the top of the head. And I'm just going to do this to the penny because why not? I like to do that. I think it's maybe not the best thing. But so the low here was 31.55. Like, it's not important to be doing it exactly to the penny. But I'll just do it to the penny and lock that. And then over here, the high was 444.65. 444.65, and then I'm just going to bring it back one day. And so with that, let's see what the 382 is. I'll just add that back in. The 382 is around 162. We've broken below that. The next level is going to be around 118.44. That also corresponds with the low over here, so that's pretty interesting. Also kind of corresponds with the high over here. That's the high from July of 2023 and the lows of like February 2024, as well as January 2024 lows. Also kind of like the high over here. This was August 2022. So 118, maybe 120 seems like a very interesting level for Coinbase. I don't have that on my list here, but I'm going to note it, that coin I would want to wait for 120 to add another share. Okay, and then let's see. The next ones I'm going to go through kind of quickly. Really just like glance through them, skip through them. EOS Energy, I'm not sure if you guys have this. I have done a video on it in the past, but I had noticed $8 strike call that expires in August around $1. It has come down lower. And so it's like whenever you notice a signal in like options data where it's like, oh, that looks really good, I'm not going to jump on it. I'm going to wait and see what happens. If it still looks really good, but price goes lower, that's an ideal situation. And so with this is $8 strike call that expires in August. Let's just look at the data over the past 7 days. I guess this is what I had to have been thinking about. This was it's 74,000, so it's not a lot of money on it. But over here we see net call premium up by $1.7 million. So that is interesting. That has my attention. And so I was looking at this contract just because the premium's a little bit lower. You see the stock price in yellow come down. things cool off a little bit. $8 strike call. Current price closed at $5.93, so it doesn't really look that good in that sense. But I had noted about at $1. Maybe there's a buy there. The low and the high was 65 cents. So maybe this could be, a dip buy opportunity. What do we see in the chart? It's very faint, but we do see lower lows there and slightly higher lows. Looks like they got a split coming up. I'm not sure of this. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, this does seem like it's better positioned than it was a week ago, having pulled back, bullish divergence. Maybe it breaks out, maybe corresponding with this, maybe not. Maybe it comes back lower. I have no idea, but I had noticed that, and it seems like it's at more of a discount. So that's just kind of interesting to me. But the past few days, net call premium, net put premium hasn't really stood out as being that exceptional. Fuel cell, this is one where, it's like people are always most bullish at the top, most bearish at the bottom. I think that we're seeing a lot of people being most bearish at the bottom in crypto space right now. But with fuel cell, you got lower highs, higher lows. Kind of looks like this wedge, to be informed, had pulled back to the 382. A bunch of people were really bullish up here, and then it's pulled back. People are probably going to be bullish again. I think that it's probably going to perform well, but that's one of the things that I kind of recognized, that some accounts I was following, they end up being bullish at resistance, and it's good to not be like that. But I had noticed a $30 strike call that expires in July. Closing price was 24 on Friday. But yeah, I mean, similar thing to EOS, EOSE. 5 million net call premium increase last Thursday. Stock price goes up, cools off a little bit, goes up a little bit more. This seems interesting. I had noted that maybe a buy at 95 cents. Hey man, buy at 95 could have doubled the money. It went up to as high as $2.25 on Friday. So that's very interesting. Could have, let's say, establish a position at 95 cents, then it goes lower. Does the thesis still look all right? I mean, it's pulled back to, what could have drawn this before to support, it's above there, it bounced from the 20-day simple moving average. So yeah, maybe add a few days ago. Let's see, a few days ago, what was the low? 90 cents. So yeah, 95 goes lower. Okay. Add a little bit more. That could have been a nice swing. Did not participate, but yeah, just very interesting. Wanted to go over that. This is one that I've been adding to. I bought one share at 67 cents, and then I got another share at not 67 cents, $67. And then got another share at $62, thinking that like 62 is potentially holding up here. This did put in a lower low, but maybe that's sweeping the lows. This is a copper related stock. And I don't know that I have any contracts over here. We can just look FCX. Oh no, I want to do a premium over here. Wait a second, did I add? I didn't. Good. Okay, cool. So $70 strike call expires less than a month from now. This had 3 million premium on it. That looks pretty. FCX. I'm excited by this. My thesis for it, I believe I don't think I have it. What's this? That's MicroStrategy. Oh, MicroStrategy. On a scale of 1 to 69, how horny will you be if MicroStrategy goes below 100? And this is with Cantonese Cat. He's always talking about being horny. He wants to write a book called The Horny Investor. So yeah, I mean, following up on the strategy stuff I was talking about before, I think that this is the dip buying opportunity that everybody's too scared to buy. So I'll come back to Galaxy in a minute. I don't have anything on FCX. I did have a post about it, which is really just if we take a big step back and I switch over to the weekly. We have, close above on the weekly. Or no, I think I actually had this on the monthly, believe it or not. And this is the close above the high, the previous all-time high. And so I think it just looks like it's consolidating a longer time frame and is going to be breaking out. And with the fib extension that I've drawn there, I think it could be going a lot higher. So looks very interesting. I am looking to add. So, what do I want to add with this? I think 62 is another level to add. And I don't think I have this in my list here. I'm just doing it on the notepad. And so for FCX, I think an add at 62 is great. If it dips below that again, if not, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is one to just, because it's like coming back to this post from Matthew, copper to gold ratio. If the copper to gold ratio is bottoming, that means that gold's going to underperform copper. And if gold's a store of value, copper is going to be a better store of value. So I just think that seems very compelling, very interesting. And what's a way to make money on that? You could short gold and long copper. I'm just longing a company that basically moves in tandem with copper because I believe it's a copper miner. Freeport McMoran. Okay, and so the next one, and I'm actually going to pull up the chat because I'm getting lost in the weeds a little bit with the charts. Never heard of EOS. Yeah, EOSE Energy. I had done a video on it a while ago. I think like if you're excited by fuel cell, I think EOS. And I think it might actually be popping up below me in a second with a little ticker tape. I think that one looks like it's bottoming and could be breaking out, similar to what, or not necessarily breaking out, bouncing. I guess it's not on the list below. Yeah, damn, never looked into fuel cell in years. Yeah. I think that, it's kind of like with the energy or the AI build out, we need energy behind that. And so a lot of these energy plays are participating, fuel cell being one of them. I don't think that Plug Power is doing as well as fuel cell. I don't think they've pivoted as well. Fuel cell. I'm going to take another sip of coffee because I haven't been drinking it. And it's now like over 2 hours old. So it's not warm anymore, but oh well. Let's see. Okay, so Galaxy Digital, this is one that I'm really excited about. I actually swung a call last week using money I shouldn't have been using because I have it set aside for my crypto buys. But I swung a Galaxy call using that. And so I'll talk about that, but let's see. I did have a post on it right here. I was patient and now I'm horny for Galaxy. Some more horny posts. And this is referring back to this video. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. I talk about Cantonese cat and also go over some unusual whales data. You can see the little whale there. And yeah, I'm excited about Galaxy Digital. I have some shares and I have some calls, or a call. So I'll talk about that. And so what did I do with it? I've got some sloppy notes on it. So I've been adding. I had been adding at 30, and then I added at 31, at 32, at 33 on the way down, or I guess on the way down, 33 to 130. And then I did get my lowest add, I think actually at 28. Let's just check my info. So Galaxy, I have my lowest buy at 28. So a little disappointing I didn't get at 27, but I was adding at 31.93, 31, 30, 29, 28, just one share at a time, nothing crazy. And so now, oops, let's see, I have a, let's see, I'm just pulling this up. Galaxy, I have an 8 share position at $30.37, so nothing too exciting. And yeah, I mean, I think I missed the dip at 27. So I'm probably not going to add shares. If it does come down, what I guess I would like is for, or what I would refer to, in the chart is the red line going across there. That is the, let's see, what is it? That's the 200-day simple moving average. That's at 27.91. And that also seems to correspond, if I zoom in here, you can see it a little better. That also seems to correspond pretty nicely with the 618 at 28.09. And so what I would say is the next level to add at, if it does pull back, probably 28 or maybe just 28.09. So I'm going to make this at 28.09 based on that moving average. So just to place an alert there, I'm not placing any buys. Maybe I will. But what I'm really excited about with Galaxy is a contract, and I think I talked about it last week. So let's pull that up. Excuse me. That was a $45 strike call. Expires in September. This one's a little more risky. Open interest has been decreasing. But, I'm going to be really interested to see. Did open interest? It probably didn't go up on Friday because look at it on Friday. Big red candle, so. But yeah, these other contracts, these have been going up. Seems like, the premiums come down. Maybe it's bottomed. When we're just looking at 45, maybe it's come down, bottomed. This is a $32.50 put, gone up. I don't know. Open interest has been decreasing a little bit. And then the $31 strike call that expired on Friday looks like it expired out of the money because it's 31, 29, 26. So yeah, I'm not going to pay attention to this one anymore. Oh, and the 32 that you put, yeah, that did expire out of the money as well. Or no, this one expired in the money. The put was good. Hopefully somebody made some money with that. I'm going to remove that. Now I just got 2 to follow. But yeah, this is one. So what did I do with this contract? Okay, over the past 7 days, we can see the data here. So I had noted from last week. Oh, no, actually, I think I had just noted the contract and I was thinking, I don't know. I knew I had it in my head at $2.10. So I bought one contract at $2.10 in one account. And then I was like, and so that would have been, what was okay, so the low here on the 23rd. So on Tuesday, it was 190. So I would have gotten the fill at 210. And it's like, okay, or maybe actually I got it fill here and I'm the reason why there's the high at 210. But then it's like, no, I think what happened is it went down to 190 on the 23rd. So that would be right here. And I'm like, okay, it went down to 190. I had, this idea of buying at 210. I'll do that. And that's like kind of the odd high. I should have just placed it was at 190 the day before. I should have just bought at 190. I bought one at 210, and then I see the low at 230. And the next day I'm like, well, I don't know it's going to get to, 130. I don't know it's going to get to 130. So I placed a buy order in 2 accounts at 150. And so now one of my accounts is at 180 average. The other one I swung from 150 up to 165. And so I made 10% on that. So that was nice. And that was money I shouldn't have been swinging. And the other one, hopefully I can exit at 10% profit, which would be 198. And I think that could possibly happen on Monday. But then if we look at Galaxy Digital, GLXY. The max pain was 30, closed below it, or 31. Next week it's 30, and we're right around there. Actually closer to 29 at 29.26. So it might take a little while for it to go up. And that is a September expiration, so I do have time. But yeah, very interesting. The shares can be longer term. The shorter term can be swinging the contract. So I'm interested in that. And I do believe I had added this to my list here. Updated the number, so that's good. I'm just going to check the chat. I don't think, oh, it doesn't look like anybody's still watching, so I can kind of zip through this stuff a little quicker. GameStop, I do believe I added at 21 last week. And I think that what I'm going to need to do, let's see, GameStop, I did add at 21. Let's see, 21.76. I mean, I'm just going to leave it at 21 as like the dip buy level. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that I might not be able to buy back my contract at 5, because this is the one that I sold the low. I think the historical low since I bought it was 530. Guess we're not, I guess maybe there wasn't an order filled there. So the low, 535, then 537. So I don't know if I'd get a fill at 5. I don't have an order placed, but I think I should place the order so I can just buy back the shares and then I can chill. Let's see what's going on with max pain for GameStop. Uh, 21, we were lower, or we were above it actually, 21.76 at close. And then next week is at 21.50. We were at that max pain, we're right around there. And then it goes down to 21 again. So yeah, and this is also, I'm going to make these 1 points, they're not as thick. But yeah, from the, actually, I think that a little bit, oh no, 193, yeah, that's right. Up to the high, we pulled back to the 786, 21.25, and actually maybe 21.25 should be the level that I put for that. I'm getting a little antsy, you know, with this. Yeah, so I think I kind of want to buy back my shares for $500, which would net me a gain of $125 on that trade. Do you see net call premium going up? But yeah, we saw net call premium going down a couple of days ago. Down on Thursday, 2.5 million, whereas yesterday it was up by 405,000. I mean, thinking about the max pains though, if it's up around here, 21.50 for next week, short week. I mean, what's the momentum? The momentum is to the upside. So I might not be able to buy back those shares for $500. But, you know, that's fine. I still have some shares. I don't have a very large GameStop position if I lose those 100 shares from that covered call. Got 31 shares in addition to those 100. But yeah. Let's see, I've got that marked. So let's go on to the next one, which is going to be Mara. What did I do last week with Mara? I bought at $12.97. And I think I also sold one at $15.54. I should have sold more. I just sold one. How many shares of Mara do I have? 31. Nothing crazy. Well, 31 of Mara, 31 at GameStop. That's weird. Okay, so for Mara, let's see. What did I have? Let's see. 12.97. What was the low? 12.95. Dang, I bought that dip. Nice. Let's see. 13.06 looks like it's the 50-day simple moving average. So I think 13.06. is the level to consider with this. So I've got that updated in my spreadsheet. Let's look over at some contract data. Mara doesn't really look that incredible. Okay. Oh, and I think I need to, I'm just noting this in my notepad. I think I need to buy back my $27 strike call for December 15th of 28 at $500. I think I just need to do that. Okay, anyways, Mara, I think we'd be seeing things start to get out of the little bearish area that we're in. So 1454 was the close. Max Pain was 14. Max Pain in a few weeks dips down to 13. And so I think that this could be the stock starting to move out higher. So yeah, 1306, or did I write 1309? Yeah, 1306. Okay. MicroStrategy already went over. And I think, yep, this is what I'm thinking. If it's below 100, I'm horny. And then the next one, Palantir. We'll come to that in a minute, but I just want to go over NIO because I think it's kind of like a fan favorite. Although, you know, man, people were bashing me over here when I was saying it was topping. I had said it'd come down to 439. It came down to 438. 439 marked over here. And yeah, I mean, is there anything that's saying that NIO's bottoming? I don't know. It could be going lower. I don't know. Let's look at some contract data. For this, net put premium coming down by $588,000 on Friday. $4 strike call for August. I mean, there's nothing crazy about this one. Let's just look over the past 30 days. Over here, you have some buys and prices lower. So I mean, maybe that's interesting. But I'm not seeing anything jumping out, you know, other than what we saw here. And what happened after that? Price did go up and it went down. I mean, I think that now is potentially a time to be going long NIO. And let's also consider, you know, what did NIO close at? 486. What was the max pain? 5. So below. I think around the end of July, NIO could be starting to, you know, do something interesting. I think it's just time. People get impatient. And so I don't have NIO on my list. I'm not in that one at all. The next one I am open. Seems kind of like a bottom over there. I do have a limit buy at 410. I don't necessarily expect that to fill. Oh, and I'm going to need to sell a covered call on this. And so let's just look at, so what is my average for open? My average is $4.60. And so let's consider selling a covered call. And maybe 420. I mean, that's just a funny number. That's just a funny number. So maybe that's the dip level. But yeah, let's look at some of the contract data. Hey, the past 3 days. This looks interesting. I'm just going to go past 7. Net call premium for this contract. Or sorry, net call premium. Up 358,000. Hey, Quintage, I see your comment. I'll check the chat in a second. Let's see. Hundreds of thousands, so nothing super crazy. Do I think it's going to be 2022 again, or possible swing high? Interesting stuff. I think that I think that there are either great opportunities being created right now or will be created in the coming months of this year, meaning that I think bottoms will be happening. And I think that like what we're seeing is like at the beginning of the stream, one of the things that I had mentioned was the IWM is at all-time highs, closed at an all-time high, weekly close. Cantonese Cats talked about this. I mean, you're seeing, blue sky territory with small caps. And so I think with everything, there's a rotation. Money is like energy, it's conserved, it has to move from one place to another. And so I think that it's rotating into a lot of things that we like now, is my view. Smaller cap stuff. And so and in crypto, I mean, Bitcoin's bottoming. What's gold doing? Like, it's below the 200-day simple moving average. I don't know what this is. Let's look at this on the weekly, and I'll just remove my drawings. Weekly, it's broken below, multiple closes below the 50-week moving average. That's like the yearly average. I think this is going lower, and I think it could be heading down to 2,780. That corresponds to the high over here. And that's the 200-week simple moving average. I think gold's top. I think money's rotating out of gold into things like Bitcoin, smaller cap stuff, whatnot, is my view. I could be completely wrong about that. I have no idea. But yeah, so I'm feeling good. Let's just think about open here real quick. I think this is looking good. I do have some open contracts. I don't want to get lost in the weeds with this. What's the contract that I hold? And is it probably going to zero? It's probably going to zero. I have one August call with a strike of 6 that I got for 55 cents. Is there something standing out here for this other contract? I'm just going to look at these other contracts real quick. Nothing really. Okay, so this is the one that I hold. Maybe it's bottoming. I don't know. But 20 seems like it was the low. So I should probably think about, well, do I think this is breaking down? Because if I'm going to risk $55, do I want to add $20 to that? Look at this big volume, not a huge spread there. Maybe let's look at this on the weekly. This looks like just a giant bull flag. And sure, it could be coming down to $3. And that could be by August. So yeah, I don't think I need to do anything crazy with this contract. But I think that this looks like a very big bull flag. So I have shares. I think it's fine to hold those, although I think I might want to sell covered call. So anyways, I just do it weekly to make like $1. Nothing crazy. And so if my average is 460, I could theoretically, make money selling at 5. What's the max pain though for open for this upcoming Thursday? 450. So I think it seems unlikely that it would go above 5. So I could probably sell a covered call. Okay, this is in the past. No, that's right. Yeah. So I'm going to omit some of these contracts that I just gone over. MicroStrategy, I'm going to get rid of that one. Just trying to move the clutter. June 26. Okay, so these are all, yep. Okay. So this is the one that I hold. I'm not thinking about adding to it. Let's see this one, January. Nothing too crazy. Nothing's jumping out. And then when stuff jumps out, then it's like, okay, now position capital. Okay, so max pain's 450. I'm just going to kind of look at this on my phone. So I'm looking at this for open. Options contracts for July 2nd. For calls, 450. I could collect a premium about $12. For 5, I could collect a premium of around $3. And let's just see what the open interest is for these. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at my phone. Open interest. Okay, so there's more open interest in the $5 strike call. And so I would probably sell a covered call, $3 versus $5.50. Okay, so yeah, what I would probably want to do is look up open here. And so I want July 2nd, but I don't want 450 because I don't want to sell my shares at 450. I would like to sell them higher than that. So this one has, more open interest. Let's just, no, I don't want to sort them by open interest. But yeah, these two here, kind of similar. More premium traded for the $5 strike call. Oh, I mean, yeah. I think that's fine. It's a short week. What's it doing? I mean, 5 is a pretty important level, so I feel like that's going to be tough. Also, max pain's 450. So, yep, I would think this one is the one I should go with. And I could sell that for 3. So I'm just going to put that in my little spreadsheet that I keep track of the stuff in. Open $5 premium of 3. And that's going to be for July 2nd. So that's one that I need to place. And that would be selling shares at $5.03 effectively, considering that premium, which would be green for me. So I'm fine with, and otherwise I have 4 shares. So it's not really that exciting. Okay. And then next one on the list, Palantir. This is one I'm excited about. I think this just looks beautiful. I think it looks incredible, at least for a short-term bounce. And so I think that's one of my last posts. Yeah. Am I stupid? Whenever I post something that says I'm stupid, it's just because I think this looks really obvious. This is before the market opened. I've drawn this out. We've got higher high and then lower high. Oh yeah, that's not what I was like. Look, you see high here corresponding with high in the RSI. Okay. And then the lows corresponding with lows in the RSI. And so this makes me think that it's going to bounce. And so yeah, like at 107, I would think that's a great dip buying opportunity. But what happened? It went up. It bounced. So now it's like 113. And so I guess what I would think with this is what was the open on Thursday? That was at 111.38, 112. I think Palantir at 112. Oh, I wrote 127 for some reason. My handwriting sucks. 112. Okay. I think that's a level for it. And so, oh, and for open, I'm just going to I have an order at, sorry, I'm going to go back to open real quick. What was the low the past week? 418. 410, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at 410 for that one. Palantir, I said 112. Okay. Ooh, and I just need to adjust some stuff in my spreadsheet so I'm like multitasking. I adjusted, oh yeah, backed it by 5 cents. Okay. Let's see. Okay, open, we're on to the next one, Palantir. Yeah, so I mean, I think that this looks really good when everybody's freaking out. Is it going to go to all-time highs? I don't know, maybe not. But I think get back up to like 150. And that would be nice. I have Palantir in 2 accounts. One of them, I think my average is around 150. That's actually crazy. I only have 1 here. Yeah, I'd like to get out at that point. So maybe actually that's one that I should consider. I wish money grew on trees. Okay, yeah, so Palantir, let's see what's going on. Don't have any info over here. PLTR. Let's look. Premium, $12.4 million. That's a put though. And just under that, $10.1 million. That's a call. So yeah, I guess I'm more interested in this call. That's for next week. Seems like this is, you know, going long. 110 closed at, where did it close at? Closed at 112.93. Surprised I can't see that over here. 112, yeah. Okay, so does this strike me as bullish? If I go back past 7 days, no. Doesn't strike me as anything that crazy. So, yeah, okay, so the next one on the list is going to be Rigetti. This is one, you know, glad I didn't get contract, but I bought some shares up here because it's looking really bullish, all this stuff. And then I should have, you know, had a stop loss or, you know, whatever. But that's kind of why, like, you know, I need to trade my thesis, not somebody else's. I can entertain others, but I think I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. And yeah, so for Rigetti, maybe it's bottoming here. That seems a little convincing, but yeah, I kind of want to GTFO this position. My average is $24.95. I have 10 shares. Let's see, Rigetti. Don't have it over here. RGTI. 257,000. That's a put, but then also a call around the same. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad. Net call premium going up by $667,000. Go over the past 7 days. I mean, this could be bottoming. Let's see what the max pain is for it. RGTI was 20, closed at 1836. Yeah, so things don't necessarily look that great. Did pull back to nearly the 786 right here. Hey, Benjamin, what's up? I'll pull up OWLT in a minute here. Just going to finish with Rigetti here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if this bounces, I mean, what's a dip buy level for this? So that 100-day simple moving average is at 1811. So that's a potential level to, oops, 1811. And also, one thing I'm going to note with Palantir, I was saying 12. Yeah, I mean, well, what's the open here was 1138. So maybe I should say 1138 for Palantir, not 112. 111.38. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, and then so Rigetti over here. And so I do have a trim of majority of my position at 27.45. Why did I pick that? I think that might be because that is a 10% profit for me. And 27.45, that's going back up to here. So yeah, maybe that doesn't happen, and so it'd be nice to get my average down if I can. Okay, so let's look over at Benjamin's request of OWLT. I'm just going to go over this one because the stream is too long and I'm not done. So I think this looks good. It's reclaimed that 50-day simple moving average, the blue line, which is at 528. Oops. And yeah, I mean, so this could be good. Maybe it could get a move up to the 100-day moving average, which is at 665. But yeah, I would think that this is probably going to spend some time down here if it is to break out. But yeah, and I don't know that there are options with this one. OWLT. Let's see. So yeah, there's just not like enough money behind it for me to get like really excited about it or be too confident about it. So yeah, I mean, basically same as last week. I think it's risky. I think that generally it doesn't really look that good, and I think it's probably going to be spending a lot of time down here. But then if it gets back above like 850, if it gaps up up to here, 1135, I think that could look really good. But I think it's just very speculative. Market cap 159 million. So yeah. All right, and then so now I'm going to go on to Rivian. This is one that I think it's right around my average. I think my average for Rivian is 1450. I did add on the pullback. I do have a sell order at 1885 just to trim. And so why did I pick that? 1885, that's a 30% profit for me. And so, yeah, I'm probably fine with that, but let's see. Oh, yeah, this trend line. I had noticed this trend line goes back. Broken below it, and those opportunities. So, yeah, and this went up 5.18% on Friday. Back above that line. Let's look at the contract. Rivian. By most premium, 620,000, a $15.50 call with a close at 1563. This one expires at the end of July. Net call premium up by 1.7 million on Friday. Let's look over the past 7 days. This is interesting. And this is also nice to see this. We see net put premium coming down by $4 million. Stock price comes down, bottoming is what this suggests. And then net call premium going up by 1.7 million. We saw 628 for this contract. And then this one is less risky because it expires in December and it's an in the money call. So yeah, I mean, I might add this to my watch list. I don't plan on participating in it. So yeah, I could probably just chill on Rivian. I really have a small position. But maybe what I want to do is incrementally trim out in 10% increments. Let's see. Because then it just gives me some cash on the side. Not a lot of cash, but something in case it takes longer. I mean, I think it looks fine, so I'm probably just going to leave that. Well, I don't have much cash right now. I mean, this just, it broke below this line, 1450. I'm just going to chill, but maybe I'll lower that. 1464 is that 618. So I'm going to say 1464 is the level to pay attention to. 618 there. Okay, and then the next one on the list is SBET. I think I have, nope, that's Stretch. Okay, I've already gone over that. Palantir already done that. Okay, so SBET, bullish engulfing candle, lots of volume there. This is looking kind of exciting. And so I have more than 100 shares of this. I have 122, but I'm selling covered call every week. So let's think about that. My average, though, I have to look at the spreadsheet to find that out. My average is 924. So it'd be nice to get the average down while it is low here. But it'll probably be some resistance around 550. Let's see, do I have a contract in this? I don't think I do. Nope. Let's see the other contracts that I have. Okay. Just trying to take a mental note. Okay, so for SBET, it's a $10 strike call. This expired yesterday. And it closed well out of the money. And yet nothing too exciting over here, suggesting that bottom's going to be in. So that makes me think I don't really need to be aggressive. But let's just see here. SBET, what's the max pain? It was 5. It closed below 5. So could be going lower. Bottom may not be in. What did I have marked as the level for SBET? $5. And then I also added at 469. Because of course. Let's see. No other reason other than that's just stupid. Gotta have fun. What was the low? 446, so 450. So I think I can at least adjust this to 469 for SBET. And so just consider that. Next one, SoFi, I've already done it. Same with Stretch. So let's move on to T1 Energy. This is another one that I have some positions in which I would not have been paying attention to this had I not been following others more closely. And so I kind of regret it. But it is what it is. Oh well. So I had an alert on this at $7. I think I could be a little more. 701. And that's going to correspond with the 100-day simple moving average at 701. I'm going to adjust that. But let's look at the data. This, I do have a call with it, which is going to close out of the money for sure. Because, yeah, it's way far out of the money. So I think I just need to suck it up, close those positions. But for this, yeah, it doesn't look like anything bullish is going on. The one that I have is the $20 strike call. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think it needs some more time to digest. So I'm going to, 6 of them, and I will sell at try to do it 10 cents, but actually, when was the last time it traded 10 cents? Hey, I mean, there were some the past few days. So, yeah, I think that 10 cents is feasible, but otherwise, no. So, yeah, well, let's see actually for this past few days. 30. Got to 30 cents. My average is 36. Now I got it lower. Dang it. Oh well. Well, actually, let's think. Higher low. This is a higher low. It could be. I mean, I just don't see anything with the data over here or the past month. Yeah, maybe, but it'll be good to not lose all my money. So I guess I will note that. TE $20 717 call at 10 cents. All right. And then Tesla, which I have talked about, but I didn't go over, and then Unity Software. Tesla. What is going on with this? I have been, well, what was the low? Well, it's like 369 basically, 368.60. But I nibble a little bit on this. Add to my position, tenths of a share. Low 337.24, 337.25. So from that low up to the high here. So 337.24 and high of 553, 453.40. 453.40. 53.40. All right, so I think this could be coming down to like 360, but yeah, maybe not. It's like 369. I don't know that I keep track of this one. What's the options data look like for Tesla? Puts are going down by 25.7 million. Calls are going up by 36.2 million. Past 7 days. Yeah, I don't know. I think we could be getting a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, then the last one on the list is going to be Unity Software. This one I don't really do too much with. I have a small position. I just kind of chill on it. Did go up by 5.69%. Unity Software. Highest premium. Puts highest premium. Up, selling of the put. So that's bullish. That's 30. What's the max pain for Unity? 27. Close at 28.23. So yeah, I think that things seem kind of good for Unity. Wait, actually, it's not millions of dollars. Let's look at this over the past 7 days. 14 and 30. So nothing too crazy with it, but it does seem like it could be going higher. And 25.50 was the level that I had marked. And so let's just see what's my average. Probably above 25.50. 26. I don't have many shares. But yeah, let's see. The 50-day simple moving average is at 27.34. Let's see, the 100-day simple moving average is at 24.05. Given that price is above it, I think that's probably going to go higher. 2435 is the 382 here. So let's say 2450. Yes, yeah. And then let's see. 26. 10% is 2860. What was the high? I think that maybe I could do a trim at like 3120. I've already got it placed. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, just coming back to this, I think that, Prime Day stock sale ended. Prime Day Bitcoin sale ended. I think that we're bottoming big picture. Long term, I'm just chilling. But yeah, with all that being said, that was the stream. If you did enjoy, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I might be doing this next week if it gets 100 views and or 10 likes. If it doesn't, I'll probably just be doing this by myself because it takes a lot of energy for me to talk and go over this stuff as well as take requests. But yeah, that's it from me. I will be seeing you on X, maybe in the comments on YouTube. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll